Who would have thought that the man who brought us Jurassic Park would also completely change the way I look at medical dramas and life? When ER finally arrived on Netflix, I pressed play expecting it to be just another 90s television show to cross off my watch list. Because lately, I had been gravitating toward older series from The West Wing and Law and Order to Kimura Takuya's early work. Instead, I stumbled upon one of the most gripping television series I've ever watched. I grew up obsessed with television. I am one of those people who went through the J pop, K pop, and Asian drama pipeline. So when I finally watched ER, nearly everything I expected from a medical drama came from mostly Korean dramas. In fact, my only prior knowledge of ER was that one Friends episode where Rachel and Monica date two handsome doctors. ER began as a screenplay Michael Crichton wrote in 1974, inspired by his experiences as a medical student. Years later, Steven Spielberg helped bring it to television, creating what would become one of the defining dramas in television history. Set in Chicago's fictional County General Hospital, the series follows the doctors, nurses, and staff working in one of the busiest emergency departments imaginable. Before I knew it, ER had become the highlight of my evenings. One episode turned into two became entire evenings spent watching with my sister. Suddenly, I was 8 seasons in. The thing is, I was used to Korean medical dramas built around inspiration and prestige, where medicine often serves as the backdrop for heroic triumphs, brilliant prodigies, and sweeping romances. We follow extraordinary doctors who overcome dramatic odds, stand up for what's right, and of course, fall in love. ER strips almost all of that away. It has this straightforward but exciting portrayal of how an emergency department operates. Apart from its brilliant way of filmmaking, from the kinetic camera work, overlapping dialogue, and intense pacing, the show also never seems concerned whether you know what tetralogy of Fallot means. It rarely pauses to explain medical terminology or simplify procedures for the audience. It throws you directly into the emergency room and expects you to keep up. There is constant uncertainty, exhaustion, ethical dilemmas, and limited resources, yet it never feels melodramatic or too quote unquote real. It's entertaining, hilarious, and above all, simply great television. One of ER's notable strengths is its characters. There are no heroes or villains. Instead, the show presents complex, multifaceted people. They make self serving choices, they struggle with dating or marriage, they question themselves, and most of the time, they don't get along.
If easier, they can make it miserable. Whatever you did, I suggest you apologize immediately.
I didn't do anything.
Apologize anyway.
Because of that, I feel like ER found me at exactly the right time. If I had watched it 10 years ago, I'm not sure I would have appreciated it as much. Back then, I gravitated towards characters who felt like idealized versions of people, like underdogs turned larger than life, those who almost always did the right thing and by the end delivered inspiring speeches. ER made me appreciate competence more than perfection. It deepened my fascination with mentorship and characters who are messy, flawed, and sometimes difficult to like. And the show spreads them across its entire cast rather than placing them on a single protagonist. That dynamic highlights another one of the show's greatest strengths, its ensemble cast. And if there's one thing that's almost guaranteed to make me love a television series, it's a great ensemble cast. Going back to the Korean drama side of things, it's one of the reasons why I like Dr. Romantic, Hospital Playlist, and Trauma Code. With ER, relationships aren't built around cozy dinners, weekend band sessions, or action packed rescues. They're forged through long shifts, shared exhaustion, disagreements, and the trust that develops when people's lives depend on one another. Even when the characters argue or dislike each other, they'll still step into the trauma room together to get the job done. Of all the themes ER explores, mentorship is one of my favorites. The show does an excellent job of depicting how knowledge and values are passed on.
Dr. Benton is one of the best residents we have. You learn everything you can from him, except attitude.
He didn't mean that.
Yes, he did.
It's through difficult conversations, tough love, and leading by example. No character embodies that better than John Carter.
2?
I'd go for a 1.
1? Really? Seems kind of harsh.
We're talking about Benton here.
Mwah! 1!
We first meet him as a privileged, eager medical student with perfectly pressed and tailored white coat. Episode by episode, we watch him earn his confidence through mistakes, learning from them under doctors who challenge him in different ways. Peter Benton is undoubtedly Carter's defining mentor, pushing him to exceed his own expectations through uncompromising standards and ruthless discipline. Yet, it was Mark Green's approach to mentorship that I look out for the most in the series. He teaches not through intimidation, but through compassion and the example he sets every day.
People come in here and they're sick, dying, and bleeding, and they need our help. And helping them is more important than how we feel. But it's still a pain in the ass sometimes.
ER shows the years of mistakes, mentorship, setbacks, and the exhausting work of showing up every day and slowly growing into your potential. By contrast, many Korean medical dramas are drawn to the ideal of exceptional individuals. While they certainly acknowledge the hardships of the profession, they're often more interested in inspiring us through extraordinary talent, triumphs, and larger-than-life moments. Korean dramas taught me to admire brilliant doctors, ideal friendships, and romances that bloom despite exhausting circumstances. ER taught me to appreciate the messiness of people, their flaws, and the courage it takes to try again anyway. It taught me to see the imperfect systems that keep things running, the teamwork that rarely receives applause, and the mentors who are also simply trying their best.
But we take care of her, and then we go on with our jobs.
Yeah.
You set the tone, Mark. You get the unit through this.
I'm fine.
Perhaps that's why Carter really stuck with me the most. The show never presents him as a prodigy destined for greatness. We witness every difficult step of his growth, shaped by failure, perseverance, and the people willing to teach him and care for him. Somehow, a television series that first aired more than 30 years ago shifted my perspective not only as a viewer, but also in how I think about work and life in general. My job may look nothing like an emergency room, but the same values apply. Showing up, supporting the people around you, learning from mistakes, and returning the next day ready to do a little better. Maybe it's the result of watching more films and television over the years. Maybe it's simply getting older. Maybe it's both. Whatever the reason, ER reminded me that some of the most powerful stories aren't about extraordinary people doing impossible things. They're about people showing up day after day, trying to do their jobs as best as they can. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I could easily spend hours talking about my favorite episodes, the filmmaking, and the technical brilliance of it, or writing an entire love letter to each member of the cast. I've spent days trying to find the right words to explain why ER is a great television show, and I ended up with one that is much closer to explaining why ER became important to me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.